My name is Patrick Murray, and this is my entrepreneur interview. I think entrepreneurs are all around us. They can be called leaders, creators, and innovators. Traits that an entrepreneur must need are determination, imagination, passion. They must be self-driven, decisive, and self-motivated. I think someone who runs a small business assumes the risk and responsibilities of that business and takes it into the market and makes the necessary actions to make that idea profitable would be called an entrepreneur. I chose to interview my boss for the company I'm working with over the summer, Massey Management. My boss, Arthur Massey, grew up in New Jersey and graduated college with a management and marketing degree. He is now a talent manager that lives in New York City. He works for two companies called Talent Inc. LA, New York, and the other, which he founded back in the early 90s, Massey Management. While in the office, we found time to sit down and I asked him a series of questions. First, I asked him how he got started in the business. It was pretty funny because he actually laughed about it because it was an accident. His friend was a model, and his friend wanted him to help make crucial and important decisions, just and assist him while he was at a modeling agency. And so he did that for about 6 months, and he helped him. And then a year later, he quit. Just packed his bags and quit modeling. And he found that was his calling, and he started a management company. After, I asked him how he financed the company. And while Arthur was in college, and after he graduated, he worked for a construction company and saved up a lot of money. And that's how we financed it. The third question was very interesting for me because the way that the management business works now is different than back in the day, because an average workday for him has changed since he started. Back in the day, a hard copy of what we call breakdowns would be mailed to his office every day, and he would have to fill them out. And then in the afternoon, he would resend them in, and they were for auditions for anything from commercials to feature films. And now it's all done through a software program, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And in the afternoons, usually he sets up meetings with agencies and casting directors and new talent. Furthermore, I asked him what the most crucial thing he has done to grow his business. He said that he changed his attitude, and he started believing that anything was possible. And it helped him because he wasn't so stubborn, and he felt once he got that mentality that anything is possible, then he would be more successful, which he was. Afterwards, I asked him if he has any plans for expansion with the company. He smiled because he knew that I already knew the answer, but he had to give it anyways. Further, he wants to expand in the departments that we work in. He wants to not only work with acting and screenwriting, but he wants to pick up a children's acting department and work with athletes. And we're in the process of right now moving to a new and bigger office, so it's very interesting. I also asked him what the most effective marketing tactic has been for him, and he said it's his personality. Because we're not selling a product or a good, we're selling ourselves. So that means you have to conduct yourself in an orderly fashion. You have to look good. You have to be very, very personable. You have to have very big people skills. So he thinks that his best marketing tactic has been his personality because he's very confident. The lowest point in his business was when he first got into the business, and he basically thought he knew everything, and he was very arrogant, and he said it was not a good time. The highest point in his business was when his client booked a series regular in the late 90s on 90210, which is a very, very big payout. Also, joining forces with Talent Inc. and picking up a second management firm means that he could pick up a lot more clients, which is great for him. I also asked him where he sees Massey Management in 5 years. He smiled and said there's huge potential. He wants to keep selling screenplays with me and pick up all those new departments. And he thinks where we're going to make a lot of money and move to a new location, it'll help us because me and him will overall sell screenwriters and scripts, and that will eventually finance a lot for us. And lastly, I asked him 3 pieces of advice he would give to someone who's just getting in the management business. And he said they have to keep an open mind because there's always ups and downs. They have to try and learn something new every day because it's all about who you know. And the third thing was never quit. And because the entertainment business is very unforgiving. And therefore you always got to stay positive and keep pushing. After the interview was over and I got to analyze and take in everything, I thought it was really interesting, and it was a great experience for me because not only do I work with him every single day, I got to know him and know the ins and outs to what he thinks of his business and where he wants it to go. I thought it was very beneficial for me because it can help me further my career path. And the most interesting part of the interview, I thought, was how he got into the business. I thought it was really funny how it was a mistake and how he started everything. The most significant part was the emotional change I saw when asking him the questions about the low point, and he seemed very down about it. And when I asked him about the highest points in his business, and he got very ecstatic and was very amped up about it. I think it was very remarkable how he's 52 and he entered the business so late, and normally somebody at 52 isn't really planning to expand businesses. They're more looking at retirement plans and finishing out their career. But it seems that he's just started his big plans for the future and continuing to grow his business. And I thought it was amazing how he really thinks that he can take this business to the top. And it was overall a great experience for me because I got a first-hand look at what a true entrepreneur has gone through, and we got to take a look at the highs and lows throughout his career and his business, and he basically showed me what it takes to be a true entrepreneur.